In today's video, we're diving into a shocking and often overlooked side of ocean sailing, the real threats from the animal kingdom that can turn a peaceful voyage into a fight for survival. From massive sharks lurking beneath the waves to unexpected encounters with sea creatures that you'd never imagine could pose a danger. We're sharing the gripping stories of 10 sailors who faced terrifying animal attacks while navigating the world's oceans. These sailors had to act fast, using everything from quick thinking to expert survival instincts to protect themselves and their vessels from creatures that can make even the bravest of adventurers reconsider their journey. Whether it's a rogue whale crashing into the hull or a curious shark targeting the rudder, these encounters remind us that the sea is home to more than just waves and winds. Imagine being in their shoes, surrounded by the vast unknown ocean, with a predator closing in. Throughout this video, we'll take you through each sailor's experience, examining the critical decisions they made and how they survived these close calls with danger. You won't want to miss the expert tips and survival strategies they've shared, which might just save your life if you ever find yourself facing a similar threat. So, buckle up for a ride through some of the wildest tales from the high seas. Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out on more jaw-dropping stories and valuable insights from the world of sailing. Let's get into it now and explore how these sailors survived attacks by some of the ocean's most fearsome creatures. 10. The giant octopus attack, legend or reality. While many accidents at sea can be explained by natural phenomena or human error, there are stories that hover between myth and reality. And one of the most fascinating is that of the giant octopus that allegedly attacked a French vessel in the early 19th century. In 1701, a dramatic illustration began circulating in European nautical journals. In it, one could clearly see what appeared to be a ship being enveloped by enormous tentacles emerging from the sea. The animal described was larger than any octopus or squid known until then. According to accounts from that time, the vessel was supposedly surprised during the early morning hours by a strange movement in the water. Within minutes, the sailors were enveloped by viscous and powerful limbs, which tore parts of the deck and damaged the masts. Although the ship did not sink, the crew described the scene as terrifying. Many believed it was the legendary kraken, a mythological creature that, according to Nordic sailors, could swallow entire ships. But other scholars of the time, intrigued by the veracity of the testimonies, began to consider the hypothesis that perhaps there really were abyssal creatures, not yet cataloged by scientists. Today, we know that giant squid exist and can reach more than 13 meters in length. They have been found in the Atlantic Ocean and in the deep waters off Japan. Still, there is no reliable modern record of a direct attack by a giant squid or octopus on a vessel. But what makes this case so interesting for us, navigators of the 21st century, is the reminder that the oceans hold secrets. Even with all of today's technology, we still know very little about what really inhabits the great depths. Did this attack actually happen? Or was it exaggerated by the fertile imagination of sailors of the time? Fact or fiction, the case of the giant octopus remains one of the most disturbing and mysterious accounts in the history of navigation. 9. Captain attacked by orcas in the Atlantic, 2023. In 2023, Captain Lars Miller and his crew, aboard a 15-meter yacht, were sailing through the waters of the North Atlantic when they experienced an unexpected and terrifying situation. Orca attacks, although rare, have become increasingly frequent, and this experience was one of the most intense episodes on record. It all began on a calm morning as the yacht was making its route between the Canary Islands and southern Portugal. The sky was clear, the wind favorable, and the waters calm. However, this tranquility was abruptly interrupted when a group of orcas appeared around the vessel. Initially, the captain and his crew thought the orcas were just playing around the boat, but they soon realized that their intentions were much more aggressive. With impressive precision, the orcas began hitting the sides of the yacht, causing significant damage to the rudder structure. In a matter of minutes, the boat was out of control. The orcas didn't seem to be merely curious. They were clearly trying to disable the vessel, possibly in an attempt to defend themselves or to drive away the intruder in their territory. The attack lasted about an hour, but during that time the captain needed to act quickly to try to protect the vessel. Using the sails and maneuvering with what remained of the rudder, he managed to move away from the area with the help of the crew. Fortunately, no one was injured, but the yacht suffered significant damage that required urgent repairs after the incident. This episode is one of many attacks recorded in recent years, where orcas have shown more aggressive behaviors towards vessels. Although this behavior is still being studied, experts believe it may be related to changes in the marine environment and the orca's diet. The incident with Captain Lars Muller served as a warning to sailors worldwide, reinforcing the need to always be alert to marine life when navigating, especially in areas known for the presence of orcas. 8. 3 sailors rescued after shark attack. 2023. In early 2023, a desperate rescue mission was carried out in the Coral Sea, off the coast of Australia, after 3 Russian sailors were left adrift in their catamaran, victim of an unexpected shark attack. The crew, consisting of 2 men and 1 woman, was making a crossing of the Pacific Ocean, departing from a small island in Papua New Guinea when disaster struck. During the early morning hours, they noticed a threatening presence in the waters around their catamaran. Initially, they thought it was a simple wave, or perhaps a large fish, but it soon became clear that something much more dangerous was approaching. When the first attack happened, it was sudden and violent. A shark, apparently attracted by the vibration of the sailboat's engine or by the smell of food on board, attacked the hull of the catamaran, leaving deep marks. This was not an isolated incident. Within minutes, more sharks appeared, and the situation became desperate. The sailors tried everything they could to drive away the sharks, using ropes and even a water pump to create chaos around the vessel, but the sharks continued to attack. The hull was damaged to the point where water began to enter, and their chances of survival were rapidly diminishing. With the emergency communication system on board, the trio managed to send a distress signal. Australian authorities responded promptly, sending a rescue vessel to save the sailors before the situation worsened. Fortunately, everyone was safe, although traumatized, and the catamaran had to be abandoned due to severe damage. This incident was one of many recent cases involving shark attacks in remote regions of the Pacific. Although rare, these attacks are a reminder that even the calmest waters can hide unpredictable dangers. 7. Sailboat Bianca. Coordinated orca attack. 2022. In 2022, one of the most impressive incidents involving orcas happened with the sailboat Bianca, a 14-meter yacht that was navigating the waters of the Strait of Gibraltar. The captain, Maria Rodriguez, and her crew, consisting of 3 members, were on their way to the Portuguese coast when they encountered a surreal and frightening situation. It all began with a seemingly ordinary morning, with clear skies and gentle winds. The sailboat was on a peaceful route when, without warning, a group of orcas appeared near the vessel. Initially, the crew thought it would be a friendly visit, as happens with some cetacean species. However, they soon realized that it was not simply the orca's interest, it was a coordinated attack. The group of orcas began swimming around the sailboat, diving and surfacing quickly, almost as if they were preparing for a confrontation. In a moment of pure tension, one of the orcas violently hit the rudder of the Bianca, severely damaging it. The yacht was completely out of control, with the crew unable to make any steering maneuvers. The orcas continued to hit the sides of the sailboat, testing the vessel's resistance. For more than an hour, the group of orcas attacked strategically, leaving the sailboat adrift in the middle of the strait. The crew tried various maneuvers, but with the compromised rudder, the situation was critical. With the help of an emergency radio, the crew managed to alert maritime authorities, who sent a rescue vessel to help drive away the group of orcas and bring the damaged sailboat to safety. The attack was a reminder that, despite their friendly and curious nature, orcas can exhibit aggressive behaviors, especially when they feel threatened or when they are protecting their territory. This event, like so many others involving orcas, continues to generate debates among experts about the causes of these attacks. 6. Belgian injured in orca attack in Galicia, 2023. In 2023, a Belgian crew went through a terrifying experience off the coast of Galicia, Spain, when their sailboat was attacked by orcas in an aggressive and unexpected manner. The incident occurred during a crossing of the Atlantic Ocean, as the 12-meter yacht was navigating the waters of northern Spain. The captain, Pierre Lefebvre, and his wife, Claire, were on an adventure journey, exploring the Spanish coast when, on a calm morning, they were surprised by a series of strange movements in the water. First, the couple noticed that there was a large presence of orcas around the boat. Initially, these orcas seemed merely curious, swimming near the vessel. However, the situation quickly took a more dangerous turn. Without warning, the orcas began repeatedly hitting against the hull of the sailboat. Pierre, who was at the helm, tried to divert the vessel to avoid a direct impact. But the orcas were coordinating in a precise manner, hitting the sailboat from all angles. In one of these attacks, an orca violently collided with the rudder, completely destroying it. The vessel was out of control and began to be pushed in various directions by the force of the waves and wind. Besides the material damage, the situation became even more critical when one of the orcas hit the side of the sailboat, causing an impact that injured Pierre in the leg. Claire, desperate, tried to help her husband while trying to activate an emergency signal. Fortunately, the couple managed to send an alert by radio, and maritime authorities sent a rescue team to help them. After a few hours of panic and desperate maneuver attempts, the couple was rescued and taken to safety. The sailboat, however, suffered irreparable damage and had to be abandoned. This incident serves as a reminder about the unpredictable behavior of orcas, which have been more frequently recorded attacking vessels in the region. Experts believe these attacks may be the result of changes in orca behavior, possibly due to food scarcity or increased curiosity of the creatures in relation to sailboats. 5. Crocodile attack. During navigation on the Amazon River, 2022. In 2022, a terrifying story emerged from the waters of the Amazon River when a group of French sailors had an unexpected encounter with a large crocodile while crossing a remote part of the river on an expedition through the interior of South America. The incident, which involved a 13-meter sailboat, highlighted the dangers that can arise in tropical regions and the need to be prepared for any type of emergency in wild environments. The captain of the sailboat, Michel Dupont, and his crew were making a crossing of the Amazon, navigating one of the largest rivers in the world. They were aware of the natural risks of the region, but nothing could prepare them for what was to come. During navigation in a narrow channel, where the dense vegetation on the riverbanks prevented good visibility, the crew was caught by surprise by a crocodile that emerged from the water with impressive speed. The animal, about 4 meters long, quickly approached the sailboat and attacked with fury. In a rapid movement, the crocodile grabbed the bow of the sailboat, causing the boat to be violently shaken. The crew, initially in shock, tried to use the engines and maneuvers to drive away the crocodile, but the animal held firm, putting everyone at risk. The crocodile began to bite and shake the bow, causing significant structural damage to the vessel. During the attack, one of the crew members suffered minor injuries, but the biggest challenge was controlling the vessel and preventing the crocodile from causing more damage. Finally, after a desperate effort to escape, the sailboat was moved away from the dangerous area with the help of an auxiliary engine, and the crew managed to proceed to safer waters. Despite the damage, everyone was alive, and the crew was able to call for help to ensure repairs to the sailboat. This incident revealed not only the hidden danger of crocodiles in tropical waters, but also the vulnerability of small vessels in wild regions. This type of attack, although rare, serves as a warning for sailors who plan to navigate remote and little-explored areas. 4. 70-year-old sailor survives shark attack off the coast of Australia, 2021. In 2021, a veteran 70-year-old British sailor, Peter Lawson, went through an experience that almost cost him his life while sailing off the coast of Australia. The incident occurred off the Great Barrier Reef, a popular destination among sailors, where the presence of sharks is common but generally harmless. However, this situation took an unexpected turn when a large great white shark attacked his sailboat. Peter was on a solo crossing aboard his 11-meter sailboat, a robust and well-equipped vessel headed for a small island. He had been sailing for several months through the waters of the Pacific without major incidents. But during the night, while the crew was resting and the vessel was sailing calmly under the wind, Peter was awakened by a strong blow to the side of the sailboat. Initially, he thought it was a simple collision with a floating log or some large object. However, when he went out to investigate, he was surprised by a huge great white shark, which had approached the sailboat and begun to attack the vessel with fury. The shark repeatedly bit the hull, and one of the bites caused a considerable leak. Peter, alone and with poor visibility due to the darkness, found himself in a high-risk situation. with the rudder not functioning properly. The attack lasted more than 30 minutes, with the shark trying to penetrate deeper into the hull. In a desperate move, Peter managed to use the resources on board, activating the engines and moving away from the attack area. After a few minutes, the shark gave up and disappeared into the dark waters. With the sailboat seriously damaged, Peter had to navigate to the nearest port with the help of an emergency radio. Fortunately, he was rescued by a rescue vessel and taken to safety. Although the attack left physical and emotional scars, Peter survived one of the most terrifying experiences any sailor could imagine. This incident highlighted the reality of the risk of sharks in some of the most remote waters, reminding sailors of the need to maintain constant vigilance and to be prepared for any surprise from the sea. 3. Shark attack. During navigation off the coast of South Africa, 2020, in 2020, the sailboat Endurance, commanded by Captain Jason Clark, was sailing off the coast of South Africa when it suffered an unexpected attack from a great white shark. The incident happened during a crossing of the Indian Ocean in the region between Cape Town and Durban, where the waters are known for the presence of these marine predators. Clark, an experienced Australian sailor, was on a solo voyage and had great knowledge of the waters where he was sailing. But what he didn't know was that that day would become a nightmare. During the early morning hours, as the sailboat was moving at a comfortable speed, Clark was awakened by a strange sound coming from underwater. Initially, he thought it was just a natural noise, like the sound of fish hitting or a log moving. However, the noise increased, followed by a violent impact on the rear part of the vessel. Upon investigating, Clark realized that he was being attacked by a great white shark of large proportions. The shark began to bite the rudder part of the Endurance, trying to wear it down and damage it to prevent the sailboat from moving. The attack was quick and fierce, with the shark trying to turn the rudder and tear the hull of the vessel. Clark, desperate, activated the emergency engines and tried to divert the sailboat to escape from the area. But the shark continued to follow the boat, attacking again at every opportunity. After a tense struggle and long minutes of panic, the shark finally moved away. Clark was able to maneuver to safer waters and, with the help of his emergency radio, contacted local authorities to request rescue. Despite considerable damage to the sailboat, Clark managed to survive the attack. He was rescued by the South African Coast Guard and taken to a safe port. This incident generated great attention in the media and was one of several shark attacks recorded in the waters of the Indian Ocean in recent years. Experts believe that the attacks have increased due to changes in the feeding patterns of sharks, which are getting closer to coastal areas, possibly in search of new food sources. 2. Sailboat shark attack off the coast of Mexico, 2019. In 2019, a notable incident involving a shark attack occurred along the coast of Mexico when a 10-meter sailboat called La Paz was targeted by a shark while navigating the coastal waters of the Sea of Cortez. The captain, Andrés Rodriguez, an experienced sailor from Spain, was on a journey through the Pacific with the aim of exploring the islands off the coast of Baja California when the unexpected happened. During the crossing in relatively calm waters, as the day was about to end and the sun was beginning to set, Andrés noticed something strange moving in the water around his sailboat. Initially, he thought it could be a patch of algae or a school of fish, but he soon realized that it was a great white shark, which was approaching rapidly. The shark began to swim around the sailboat, initially with curiosity, but soon became more aggressive. In the blink of an eye, the shark attacked the side part of the sailboat's hull, biting the edge of the rudder with enough force to cause significant damage. The impact was violent, making the boat rock strongly. Andrés quickly tried to maneuver the vessel to drive away the shark, but the animal seemed determined, repeatedly attacking the vessel with its powerful jaws. Each attack was stronger than the previous one, with the shark trying to damage the structure of the sailboat to prevent it from escaping. The captain, although in panic, managed to maintain control of the situation and activated the sailboat's engine to drive away the shark. After a tense struggle, the shark finally gave up and disappeared into the dark waters. On board, Andrés assessed the damage and realized that the rudder was compromised, which would make navigation difficult. With the use of an emergency radio, Andrés managed to communicate with local authorities, who sent a rescue team to ensure his safety. The sailboat was towed to a nearby port, where urgent repairs were carried out. This incident was one of many shark attacks recorded off the coast of Mexico, a region famous for its marine biodiversity, but also for being the natural habitat of large predators, such as the great white shark. The episode served as a reminder of the unpredictability of the sea and the hidden dangers that sailors may face, even in apparently calm waters. 1. British sailor survives great white shark attack on Tristan da Cunha Island, 2018. In 2018, British sailor Richard Fenton experienced one of the most terrifying experiences of his maritime career when he was attacked by a great white shark while sailing alone on his 12-meter sailboat, the Sea Breeze, off the isolated island of Tristan da Cunha in the South Atlantic. Fenton, who was an experienced long-distance navigator, was completing a trip around the world and was heading towards the remote sub-Antarctic islands to explore their icy and unexplored waters. While sailing near the coast of Tristan da Cunha, a remote archipelago known for its unique marine fauna, Fenton had a calm morning, but everything changed in an instant. During the crossing, the sailboat was suddenly shaken by a strong blow to the side of the hull. Fenton rushed to investigate what was happening, and looking over the side, he spotted a huge great white shark of about 5 meters that was beginning to aggressively attack the sailboat. The shark repeatedly bit the hull, trying to break the structure and cause serious damage. Fenton, surprised and in panic, tried to drive away the shark with an emergency pole, but the animal held firm, biting the lower part of the vessel and even trying to attack the rudder. With each attack, the boat rocked violently, making it impossible for the captain to maintain control of the direction. Knowing that he needed to react quickly, Fenton activated the emergency engines while trying to divert the sailboat to deeper waters. The struggle between the sailboat and the shark lasted about 45 minutes until finally the shark moved away, apparently giving up its pursuit. With the damaged hull, Fenton managed to call a nearby coastal station, which quickly sent a rescue team. The sailboat was taken to a safe port, where Fenton was attended to by doctors. He was slightly injured, but came out unharmed, while the Sea Breeze suffered significant damage. This attack was one of the most impressive and rare cases of direct interaction with sharks in such isolated waters, drawing the attention of the sailing community and marine scientists. The aggressive behavior of the great white shark, unusual in these waters, generated discussions about changes in the behavior of these predators, possibly driven by alterations in the local ecosystem. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these jaw-dropping stories, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more wild tales from the seas. Stay safe out there, and remember, always be prepared for the unexpected.